xTool just came out with a very new software called xTool Studio, and it has a lot of you confused. Now, whether you are new to xTool lasers or if you have been an experienced xTool laser user but using xTool Creative Space, this video is going to be for you because I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to know about the xTool Studio and how to get you started in cutting and engraving your very first project today. If you've used the xTool Creative Space software, there's nothing for you to worry about because the xTool Studio is very similar to the xTool Creative Space program. Now, I'm not entirely sure why they decided to make a whole new software, but they did, and I actually like the newer software versus the older one because there are more features. Essentially, what today's video is going to be about is a quick start guide to get you crafting with your xTool. Now, this video is going to be for everyone that has an xTool laser. It does not matter the brand. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, my name's Ashley Falco and I have been a laser owner for over 5 years and an xTool laser owner for just roughly 4. I have owned every single one of xTool lasers that they have offered, minus 2. The Metal Fab and the F2 Ultra. So the reason why you want to watch today's video is because, hello, I'm well versed in not only their machines, but also their software. Now that you know a little bit about me, let's head over to the xTool Studio where I can show you the quickest way to get you to crafting. Let's go. Welcome to xTool Studio, which if you've played with xTool Creative Space before, this should look very similar to you. At the very top of xTool Studio, you have your recent projects that you are working on. These are all of mine. And then down here, these are going to be trending now projects that a lot of people are using. Now, the one thing that I do love about the xTool company is that their software, Creative Space or Studio, they offer you a ton of free projects. Now, there is some sort of membership where you could use coins or buy diamonds to use them for different projects, but most of their stuff that they have within their software is free to use. Even if you don't have an xTool laser, if you wanted to download this software and download the free files to use on a different software, you totally could because it's free. And that's truly the reason why I really love the xTool program and also company is because you do not have to know how to create your own laser cut files in order to be a laser owner and artist. Now, again, these are all going to be your trending projects that you see that are going to be relevant. They change throughout the time. Now, I'm recording this in November. You can already see that what's trending right now is going to be Christmas stuff and even Thanksgiving. Come February, this is going to be filled up with Valentine's Day. So if you're ever lacking any creative ideas, don't worry. xTool has it for you right here. All right, so over here on the very left are just going to be a couple little things that you are going to, that maybe you're going to press. One of them is going to be MySpace. This right here is not the old social media. This is where all of your projects that you can save in a cloud are going to be right here. So I actually have multiple computers that have the xTool Studio software logged into it. So if I wanted to create on my laptop, all I would have to do is go into MySpace. If I had a project that I was working on, I would just click it and it would work on my laptop. So I love the fact that we have this. Do you see all of these projects right here? I'm only using 5 megabytes of a total of 500 megabytes. That's quite a bit. Also, you could save your SVG files or your laser cut files directly to your computer. So if you didn't want to use the cloud, you don't have to. But we'll get into that later. Okay, then you can come over here into templates. Remember those little trending projects that were shown on the home screen? This is where you're going to be able to find all of the projects. Now, some of these are going to cost you some money, so just beware. Everything that you see right here, there's no money involved. However, do you see this right here? These ones right here do cost money. Now, you can click on it, and if you were to press open, what you would either do is pay with those credits. Remember those diamonds I was telling you about? You could pay with those, or you could just pay with cash. However, the vast majority of the files that are within the xTool templates section is free, and I love that. You also can access this templates location over in our projects when we're working, which I absolutely love. We'll get into that here in a second. Now you can come down here to materials, but to be honest with you, I actually never use this button. So we're not even going to cover it. Now, let's pretend like you just want to open up a brand new window in xTool Studio. How you do that is you open up the studio, and this is what your main screen is going to look like, provided it's going to look a little different because your files are going to not look like mine, and probably if you open this up in February, remember, your screen you're trending now may look a little different than mine. But the flow is all going to work the same no matter what laser cutter you are working with, okay? So what you want to do to open up a new project, there's two ways to go about that. You can come over here into the plus sign, or you can come over here to the right for new project. Now, if you had an SVG file that you wanted to open up, you would just press this open sign, or you can drag and drop it into the workspace. But let's just say that we wanted to open up a new project. Now my xTool P3 is already turned on, so what happened is you heard that little beep. My xTool P3 connected automatically to my software. You can see that I have it already connected here and it's ready. Now this is the one thing that I do want to remind you moving forward with this little walkthrough tutorial. All the buttons on the left-hand side are going to be the same no matter what machine you are using on. However, everything over here on the right is going to be different for the machine that you're using. So what I want you to do, the very first thing I want you to do is come over here and press this button. You're going to see that it shows it as the xTool P3, but there is going to be a list of devices. What I want you to do is click on the device that you are going to be using. Now I have the xTool P3, the F2, the P2S. I also have the F2, F1 Ultra, F1, F1 Light. There is a new UV laser that's coming out. I have that too. I originally had the B2, S1, M1 Ultra, M1. I had the D1 Pro. So I had all of these lasers, and you can use all of these lasers all at once. So if your craft room is filled up with 10 lasers, you could be using all 10 lasers all at once. But whatever window you're working on, so we have one window open, I want you to click on the xTool that you're going to be using, okay? Once you do that, you just want to click out of that. Now, if you wanted to say 2 tabs for 2 different lasers, you would just need to open up a new tab. And in this tab, if you wanted to, you could connect to, let's say, your F2, which is right over there. So all I would do is click on my F2. It says it's not plugged in, so it's not going to connect, but I can switch. And now this screen, see how this right here looks different than this right here? That's because my P3 is really large and my F2 ain't that large, okay? And then you're gonna see stuff over here on the right looks a little bit different than what I have here. That's because the machines do different things, but the software all does the same, okay? So now that we've gotten that covered, let's scoot over to the left-hand side, because like I said, everything on your left-hand side is all gonna stay the same for everyone, all right? So there is a save button and a cloud button. This is the one that you would want to upload into the cloud so you can access it to all of the places, like all computers that you're using. We have a plus sign, which is import, which is the same thing like if you were on the home screen, this open button, okay? I actually never press this import button because what I do is I take all of my downloads that I have. Let's say I wanted to engrave this Jurassic Park sticker. All I would do is I would drag this into the xTool Studio software and it's gonna pop up right there. So while it is nice to have this button right here, I actually never use it. There is a text box right here, and all you would need to do is click on the text and just drop it anywhere inside your workspace. Your workspace is going to be this grid that's right here. This grid, unless you're using the xTool P3, may look a little different because again, look at my F2. My F2 workspace is this small, my P3 is this small. Now, in order to edit the text, all you need to do is double click on your text box and you would just edit your text. Now, if you wanted to change the font, all you would need to do is come up here where you see this name right here, Lato or Lato or whatever it is. It is the default font for everything in xTool. Why? I don't know, because I don't even think it's a cute font, but that's fine. So all you would need to do to change the font is you would just open this up and this box is going to pop up. Now, all of your recently used fonts are always going to be at the top. It's always going to start with the Lato. Until you change it, your document font will end up being different. You can upload your own fonts, or xTool Studio has a wide range of fonts. How to upload your own fonts? You just come over here into Upload Font. Now, what you would need to do is drag and drop your OTF or your TTF files inside the xTool software. I love getting fonts from Creative Fabrica or even dafont.com. There's a lot of free fonts over at dafont.com. Once you're done and you just drag and drop in there, it will automatically go right here. So if you come from the Cricut world and you upload your own fonts into Cricut, you will know that when you do that, you have to refresh your software. You don't have to do that here in the xTool Studio, which I love. Once you choose a font, then the other thing that I love about the new program is now you can curve your font right here. Well, I time out because you actually could curve your font in the xTool Creative Space, but the button I found was kind of hard to find. Now you can just easily see it's right here. You can click on the button. You're going to need to click and then drag. You can drag it up, you can drag it down, but that is how easy it is to make curved text. Unlike the Cricut software, it would have taken me forever to try and figure out how to curve my text. Now it's just one click of a button and drag it, and look at that. Now you can change your text size here if you need to, or you can just make this larger or smaller. Look at that. A lot of people that I have seen in other message boards have said that their xTool Studio is super laggy. I am not having that issue at all. I have built some pretty intricate files and it's been going fine for me. Now that we've covered the fonts, let's come over here into shapes. These right here are just going to be your free and basic shapes. When I say free, I pretty much tell you right now that most of everything that's in the xTool Studio software is free, but these are just going to be your basic shapes. To be honest with you, I actually never build my SVG files within the xTool Studio software. The only reason why I don't is because I use Inkscape, and that's a free program, and I've been using that for forever, and I just know it, and it's just easier for me to use. So I actually build my files over in Inkscape and then import them into the xTool Studio software. But to be honest with you, if you've never even heard of Inkscape, you can pretty much do the same thing over here in the xTool software. So just letting you know. Okay, so you could insert shapes if you wanted to. You just click on a shape and then drag and drop, and then you would just, let's say you want to do a circle, you do a circle, and there you go. Resizing over here if you need to. And then this right here, this is actually really cool. If you wanted to create your own custom shape to cut out or anything like that, you can just click this, and this little pen tool, you can create your own shapes like this. Again, I don't ever use this because I build my SVG files within Inkscape. But just so you know, this is available for you. Now the next button is the button that I love so much, and I have been utilizing it so much since the new update. Okay, remember when we were over here in the home screen and there was that templates box that you could just choose all of your stuff that's right here? You don't actually have to be in the home screen anymore to do that. You can come over here into this button right here that says templates. And that same thing that we had at the home screen, we have here. Now you can scroll if you want, or if you have an idea in mind. Like I just made leather tags and I didn't want to actually have to build my SVG file. So what I did was I just put in tag right here, and all of these popped up, and I just chose one that fit my needs. Now, the one thing that you will need to know is that, remember in the home screen where there was like a dollar amount of something? Well, over here, if it has this yellow crown, you can see some of these have yellow crowns. Those are the ones that cost money. Everything else does not. Money or diamonds, whichever you choose, whichever one. But like this one right here has all of these different tag cutouts, and it's really only $1.99. If you wanted to use your tokens, it's 199 tokens. I clearly got a lot of those credits, okay? So, but to be honest with you, the tags that I just created out of leather, I just chose one from in here. I actually didn't even pay for my SVG file. So all you would need to do, let's say that we decided we want to do these tags right here and they are free. All you would need to do is press open. Now, before we do that, you will note that this says this particular project, this person right here, Elle Coupe, she's the one who made that. She was using her M1 for this project. I'm going to be using my P3. So what I'm going to do is press open, and instead of adding to a new project, what I'm going to do is come over here and add to a current project. Now here is my project that's loaded right up. That same project that's right here is now right here. Now there will be some adjustments that need to happen about the settings, but again, that's different for every single machine. So we're only focusing on the left portion of the software today. Oh, and one thing that I would love to know, if you are doing the deep dive in this software, if you find something that you're like, ooh, I love that, but I want to come back to it, what I want you to do is press this favorites button and add a bookmark. The reason why I tell you this is because to find it again is actually kind of hard. There's a couple projects that I have lost and I've tried looking for them and I can't find them now because for whatever reason, my search is not searching correctly. So if you see a project that you like, make sure and just press that bookmark button, because then when you're over here in the home screen under bookmarks, it's going to be right here. So you're not going to lose it. Okay, just make sure and do that. Don't be me and forget that button. It's very crucial. Okay, so then coming over here into elements on the very left-hand side, there's going to be a whole bunch of elements, free patterns, embossments if you have the F1 Ultra that can do really nice embossments. There's other different types of clip arts and colorful images and stuff like that. To be honest with you, unless I'm unboxing one of these brand new machines that xTool sends me, I actually never really use this portion. I really just come over here to templates or create my own SVG files. But there's all these different little images. If you needed to find something, you have them available for you. Everything that's over here is actually free for you. Now that is a little bit different with the new update is going to be over here in applications. We have grid array, and this just makes it to where, let's say I wanted to cut this out in 75 million cutouts. You would just come over here into grid array and you can see that I now have multiple options of this. It just makes it really easy to do batching. I don't generally use it, but it definitely makes it easy. Circular array is, let's say you wanted to do one of those really interesting kaleidoscope things. Let's say I'm going to use this again for an example. And see how it just kind of makes this like really interesting kaleidoscope cutout thing. Again, I've never used it. I do know some people that do use it, but that's the reason why they have it there. Most people do like a single thing like hello, and then they'll do the circular array. And see how I have 8 copies. Let's do less copies. And then let's do 20 steps. Okay, so it kind of has that like kaleidoscope feel. Very interesting. Again, I never actually used this one because I don't think I've ever needed to use it. But going back over into application, material test array. Now, I do have a previous video about this material test array. This button is your best friend when you are learning new material. Now, the reason why I'm not going to deep dive it here is because there is a lot to grasp and to understand with this, and it needs to be its own video because it is the most important thing that is here on the left-hand side. Now, they have this thing called code generation. You can create your own QR codes here. So if we did ashleyfalco.com and then just press save, all of a sudden now I have a QR code. So most of the time you would have to use an outside source in order to make a QR code. Not anymore. You can just use this application to create your own QR codes. Okay, now going back over into the applications, the next thing is going to be smart nesting. Smart nesting is actually really cool, but what you would have to do is have your machine turned on and the material that you're using already put into your machine. Once you have that, then you want to make sure and have like all of your cutouts that you're going to be cutting out or engraving onto your screen. And then you would press this button and it just nests the items together. What nesting is conserving on material. So instead of like wasting a bunch of material because your cutouts weren't like, you know, nested together, it actually does it for you, which is nice. Batch fill is essentially the same thing as smart nesting, but a little different. Let's say I threw in like 10 business cards onto my xTool P3 or your P2S or whatever, and I wanted to engrave my QR code on every single one of those business cards. I'd put in my business cards into my tray. Now I have my my QR code, and then you press batch fill and it will put your QR code on all the business cards that you're wanting to engrave. Now the next button is another button that I actually don't use, never have. I tried before and I really didn't understand the concept. I didn't really need it, and it's a measurement tool. You just have to, I don't know, measure the distance of your items. I don't know why you would need this. If you've used this before, I'm gonna need you to know, I'm gonna need you to tell me why and how. Like, give me the scenario of what this button actually makes sense about, because I can't seem to figure out why we would need this. Now, the next bottom ones right here are new to the xTool Studio software. We did not have these in the xTool Creative Space. We have an earrings generator button, so a lot of you that are creating or wanting to create your own jewelry, we have all these different jewelry options that you can choose from. And you can choose, you know, your number. If you have, you know, wanted to do number 9 or whatever, you can choose your size of hole. And all you would need to do, this would be what your final project would look like. Cutting would be everything that's in the red. Blue would be scoring. You would just press import canvas, and there is your earring. Now, you do not want to resize this at this point, but you just created an earring that quick. I really think that this feature is really cool for the people that want to make jewelry on the fly. You also could go up here into the templates and you could just search up earring, because I'm sure there has been a lot of other people that have made a bunch of different earrings. So you don't have to use the applications if you don't want to. Keychain generator is essentially the same thing as the earrings, only now you're making keychains, and this is what your finished products will look like. You can change your text, change your name and your text. You can do it all. There's a bunch of different options, which I think is really cool. Back over at calibrations, we have a box generator. If you wanted to make your own type of wood or acrylic boxes, you can make them. This used to be, now this I think is really cool. I haven't made a box in a really long time, but we used to, back when I first got my first laser, you would have to go into a separate website in order to figure out how to make a box. And now you can do it all within one software, which is actually really cool. Same kind of concept as the earring one. You would just need to use it for boxes. Now, the last and final one is the map designer. This right here is a upgrade thing. It's a completely separate membership to the xTool Studio. So remember when I told you that some things cost money and you can purchase diamonds at the xTool Studio software in order to buy these types of templates? This right here, this laser map maker, is a completely separate company. I'm pretty sure it's a completely separate company. I've tried it and I am not a fan. I started the 2-week trial and then I looked into the pricing, and then playing around with the maps. I'm not a fan. If somebody has been able to figure out this map thing and actually get a really decent map, I would love to hear how in the world you did it, because I tried and tried and tried and could not figure it out. And I was like, waste of time. So then that is it for the applications. Coming down here to AI, I will have to tell you right now that I have never been able to master AI. I don't know what it is. but I can't seem to get anything AI. I ask AI to do something for me and it never gives it to me. So I don't know, but you can do AI stuff. It does cost some coins in order to make the AI, but you know, like, oh, popular IP, what is going on? Disney? Disney inspired, put in a prompt. Give me Cinderella. I probably am not as descriptive as they want me to be. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I don't know AI. AI kind of like, I'm like, I don't know. But, oh, it's thinking 85%. Oh, look at that. I have Cinderella. That's wild. I didn't know that AI could give you copyrighted images. But I got Cinderella. That's all right. I don't really like the background, but whatever. Anyway, that is AI. Now you can come over here into MySpace, which is essentially what we had over here at the home screen. That is essentially it when it comes to the xTool Studio software. It is very easy to use and user-friendly. Honestly, it's one of the easiest softwares that I have ever used. Everything that's over here on the right changes per machine. So I'm not going to talk about it because xTool offers all of these different machines. Me and you would be here forever talking about all the difference on the right-hand side. So what I would suggest to you is that if you are looking for specific tutorials for your specific machine, you're in luck. If you like the way that I taught and talked about this video, because I've owned practically every single one of the xTool machines, you do know that I have a library filled of just that. So for every single machine, I have deep dive into all things of their projects, and you are going to be able to learn the ins and outs of your machine just by my library alone. But I'm sure that there are other creators here on the tube that are wonderful instructors as well. Oh, last and final thing before I let you go, because this is something that I absolutely love. Over here in the main menu, if you click on that, you can come down here to File and then Export. Let's say I wanted to export this Cinderella thing. You would just come down here and do Export PNG and then just press Confirm. What's going to happen is the xTool is going to give me my PNG file right here. Now, obviously, if I really was just trying to get this Cinderella, I would have deleted everything. But there is your PNG file and you did it for free. That feature, among so many other things that are within this software, is the reason why I love the xTool company and lasers and software so much, because they give you so much for free, but also it's so easy to use, which is absolutely wonderful. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you next time.